You have been deceived into thinking you must beg heaven for a blessing as if God's choice were still undecided. But the truth is this: the choice has already been made. Before you asked, He appointed you. Before you prayed, He marked you. Think of Moses at the burning bush, of David with only a sling none doubted once they acted as chosen. Stop delaying your destiny. Stop shrinking in the shadow of doubt. Walk as if the crown is already on your head, and watch as doors open, enemies bow, and miracles follow in your wake. Take a slow breath. Listen closely. There is a law you have sensed, and tonight we will put it to work. The myth whispers, wait for a sign to act. The law declares, act as chosen, and the world responds. Obedience precedes provision. Identity precedes evidence. Miracle is not luck. It is the consequence of law applied with faith, purpose, and discipline. You have been walking as one who waits for permission. Tonight, you learn to walk as one who carries it. Here is what lies ahead. You will traverse 6 movements of law. First, the chosen acts before seeing, moving in obedience before provision appears. Second, definite purpose as decree your chief aim becomes the written law that governs your days. Third, autosuggestion installs identity repetition plus emotion, carves your truth into flesh. Fourth, the mastermind authority shared and multiplied through aligned minds. Fifth, strategic silence and self-governance, mastering tongue and time as tools of kings. Sixth, systems and the law of rhythm, turning habits into assets that possess your hours. We will seal this with a ritual that spans 30, 60, and 90 days, and a vow of identity you can execute within 24 hours. The path is law. The proof is in your movement. The miracle follows your obedience. Let us begin with part 1, the law of chosen action. You move first. Provision runs to meet whoever has already assumed the post. This is the first, law of the chosen. You act before you see. You speak before you know. You obey before you understand. The world does not respond to your need. It responds to your certainty. It does not bow to your desire. It bows to your decree made flesh through movement. Where have you been waiting for permission? Where have you been postponing the act that would prove who you are? The chosen does not wait for courage. The chosen moves and courage meets him halfway. The chosen does not wait for resources. The chosen acts and resources align to his rhythm. Abraham Lincoln stood in the chaos of a splitting nation and decided for the Union when generals doubted and advisors wavered. He did not wait for clarity. He created it. His decision under uncertainty defined the trajectory of history. The law was simple. Decision creates the path. Movement under pressure forges the way forward. Lincoln acted as one sent, and the world bent to accommodate his certainty. This is your inheritance. You are not here by accident. You are here by assignment. Your days are not random. They are strategic. Your challenges are not punishments. They are training. But you must move as one who knows this. You must speak as one who carries authority. You must decide as one who was chosen before the foundation of time. I command my morning. My morning commands my day. I use my mind, not just my time. I move first. I finish what I start. Identity precedes evidence. Evidence follows obedience. I build systems that outwork my hours. Gold follows understanding. Outcomes follow order. I decide once and reinforce daily. I am sent. I obey. I finish. I speak law into my day and collect proof before noon. I will not wait for courage. I move and courage meets me. I sow understanding and reap gold. Move first. Stand as sent. Finish what you start. When your morning begins, does it obey your law or your fear? When opportunity knocks, do you answer as owner or tenant? When obstacles rise, do you see walls or stepping stones? The chosen sees what others miss because the chosen acts from a different frequency. You are not trying to become chosen. You are learning to act like you already are. Decide today as one who was sent. Speak and act with serene authority. Let your voice carry the weight of assignment, not the tremor of hope. Let your decisions reflect certainty, not negotiation. Every delay is a vote against your own calling. Every excuse is a denial of your inheritance. Every moment of hesitation is a moment stolen from your purpose. The morning you wake up and move without questioning, without bargaining, without delay, that is the morning your true life begins. The day you stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start declaring, "This is what I do, because this is who I am that day." The world takes notice. That day, provision begins its race to catch up with your certainty. But action without aim is motion without meaning. The chosen does not move randomly. The chosen moves with definite purpose, burning like fire in the bones. Position established, aim locked, the law demands that you anchor your destiny to a decree that governs all your days. We continue with Part 2, the law of definite purpose as decree. What you call desire, the law calls weakness. What you call goal, the law calls suggestion. What you call dream, the law calls delay. Definite chief aim is not desire. It is written law that governs your days, your hours, your decisions, your associations. It is the North Star by which every choice is measured, the constitution by which every opportunity is judged. Andrew Carnegie summoned Napoleon Hill to formulate a mission central to all other missions and to build every habit, every relationship, every strategy around that burning core. Carnegie knew the secret that separates owners from employees, leaders from followers, the chosen from the waiting. Focus is not attention. Focus is law made flesh through repetition. When you write your definite chief aim, you do not write a wish. You write a decree. You do not pen a maybe. You pen a mandate. You write in present tense because your subconscious mind knows no future, only now. You write with deadline because eternity without urgency is philosophy without power. You write with precision because vague instructions produce vague results. Your decree reads like this: I am now earning by December 31st of this year $50,000 in annual income through my expertise in digital marketing, serving business owners who value growth over comfort. I see this income as earned. I feel the satisfaction of this success. I act with the confidence of this achievement every day. Do you see the difference? This is not hope. This is law. This is not someday. This is now disguised as future. This is not maybe. This is already decided, waiting only for your daily obedience to catch up with your written word. Write your decree in the form of law, in present tense, with deadline. Read it morning and night until the words burn in your chest and flow from your tongue like water. Do not negotiate with your law. Do not adjust your decree based on mood or circumstance. Do not dilute your mandate because others doubt or because progress feels slow. I command by purpose. I do not negotiate my law. Purpose rules my hours. My aim is law. My discipline is proof. Have you been treating your purpose like a suggestion? Have you been adjusting your aim based on fear or comfort? The chosen does not bend the decree to fit the day. The chosen bends the day to fit the decree. The chosen does not lower the law to match energy. The chosen raises energy to match the law. Thomas Edison held to the decree of the incandescent light bulb through 1,000 failed attempts because the decree was law, not experiment. The law was written in his mind before it was written in tungsten and glass. He did not test the law. He obeyed it. He did not question the aim. He served in it. The law was, light will come from electricity in a form useful to mankind. Everything else was just method. Your decree is not subject to committee. Your chief aim is not open for debate. Your written law does not bend to accommodate doubt, delay, or the opinions of those who have never written one themselves. You decide once, you reinforce daily. Every morning you read the decree. Every evening you read the decree. Between morning and evening, every choice bows to the decree. Every opportunity is measured against the decree. Every association is judged by its service to the decree. This is not obsession. This is order. This is not extremism. This is excellence. This is how the chosen operates, with law as compass, discipline as fuel, and obedience as proof. But decree without voice dies in the mind like seed in drought. The subconscious obeys what you repeat with emotion and image. Installation of identity requires rhythm, repetition, and the marriage of word to feeling that transforms thought into flesh. Now we advance into part 2, the law of autosuggestion that installs identity. Your subconscious mind is soil. Your spoken words are seeds. Your emotions are water and sunlight. What grows in the garden of your inner life is determined by what you plant there with consistency, with feeling, with the authority of one who tends his own ground. Autosuggestion is not positive thinking. It is law applied to the mechanics of belief. It is not hoping for the best. It is programming for the inevitable. It is not wishful repetition. It is surgical installation of identity through the marriage of word, image, and emotion repeated until the subconscious accepts it as fact and begins to outwork your conscious efforts to make it real. Thomas Edison conducted autosuggestion experiments on himself every day of his working life. He would sit in quiet darkness and repeat to himself the solutions he sought, the inventions he knew were possible, the laws of nature he was certain would yield to persistent, intelligent effort. He combined the words with vivid mental images of the completed invention and the satisfied feeling of success achieved. The laboratory in his mind created the blueprints that his hands would later build. Edison understood what most never learn. The subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between an experience imagined with emotion and an experience lived with the body. Both become equally real to the inner mind. Both shape belief. Both create the magnetic attraction that draws resources, people, and opportunities into alignment with the dominant mental picture. This is your daily practice. Stand before the mirror, look into your own eyes, and speak your identity with growing emotion and unwavering certainty. Not once, but 3 times. Not quietly, but with the authority of decree. Not as hope, but as law already written in the invisible realm, waiting only for your obedience to bring it into manifestation. I do not wait for freedom. I build it now. I do not chase riches. I command them by wisdom. I am not trying to become successful. I am successful, learning to express it. I am not seeking my purpose. I am living it. I am not hoping for provision. I am acting as one provided for. I do not wait for permission. I carry authority. Speak these words to yourself until they feel true. Repeat them until they sound like you. Continue until your voice carries them naturally, until your actions align automatically, until your very presence communicates the identity you have installed through deliberate repetition. What words have been ruling your inner conversation? What identity have you been rehearsing in the privacy of your mind? If you do not choose the words will choose you. If you do not program the identity, circumstances will program it for you. The chosen takes responsibility for the inner conversation because the chosen knows that outer results are inner conversations made visible. Henry Ford declared to his engineers that they would create a V8 engine, though they told him it was mechanically impossible. Ford did not argue with them. He simply repeated the law, produce it. For months they came back with reports of failure. Ford repeated the law, produce it. They returned with modified designs that still fell short. Ford repeated the law, produce it. Finally, understanding that Ford's certainty was not negotiable, that his repetition was not hope but command, they found the way. The V8 was not created in the laboratory. It was created in Ford's mind through repetition and then expressed in the laboratory through obedience. Your daily repetition is your daily vote for the identity you are becoming. Your emotional rehearsal in the mirror is your application for the role you will inhabit. Your consistent autosuggestion is your claim on the reality you are prepared to live. Do this for 30 days without missing once. Look into your eyes and speak the law of your identity with increasing emotion and absolute certainty. Feel the truth of the words even before the evidence appears. Act from the identity you are installing rather than the circumstances you are leaving. Move as one who has already received rather than one who is still hoping. The mirror does not lie, but it shows you only what you have been. Auto-suggestion programs it to show you what you are becoming. Identity rehearsed becomes identity expressed. Words repeated with emotion become beliefs. Beliefs held with certainty become magnetic force that draws to you exactly what you have claimed as already yours. But identity installed requires alliance. Authority multiplied through aligned minds creates force that individual effort cannot achieve. The mastermind is not networking. It is the chemistry of minds united for definite purpose, creating a third mind greater than the sum of its parts. We turn the page to part 2, focused on mastermind authority that accelerates inevitable results. Two or more minds focused harmoniously upon a definite purpose create a third force, the chemistry of mind that Napoleon Hill discovered in his study of 500 successful individuals. This is not cooperation. This is creation. This is not teamwork. It is mind multiplication. This is the mastermind, the alliance of minds that transforms individual limitation into collective inevitability. Andrew Carnegie surrounded himself with 50 men whose specialized knowledge covered every aspect of the steel industry. Carnegie himself admitted he knew little about the technical processes of making steel, but he knew everything about the process of combining minds for definite purpose. His fortune was not built on his personal knowledge. It was built on his ability to create a mastermind alliance that could think, plan, and execute with the combined intelligence of 50 experts working in harmony. Do you see the law? The mastermind is not about what you know. It is about what the collective mind knows. It is not about your individual capacity. It is about the exponential capacity created when minds unite around shared purpose. It is not addition. It is multiplication. One mind plus one mind does not equal two minds. It equals a third mind with powers beyond the reach of either mind alone. Your mastermind begins with 2 people and grows to no more than 4. More than 4 creates committees. Fewer than 2 creates isolation. The number is law. 2 to 4 minds meeting weekly for 60 minutes with definite agenda, measurable goals, and mutual accountability that transforms possibility into probability. Choose people who have written their own definite chief aim and proven their commitment through consistent action. Choose people whose success would not threaten you and whose failure would not diminish you. Choose people who understand that the mastermind exists to multiply individual power, not to provide therapy for individual weakness. Meet at the same time each week. Begin with each person reporting measurable progress toward their definite chief aim. Identify obstacles and combine minds to create solutions. Set specific, measurable commitments for the following week. End with each person stating their next 3 actions and the deadline for completion. No philosophy, no general discussion, no social conversation. This is a laboratory for the multiplication of individual force through collective intelligence. The mastermind creates what Hill called the chemistry of mind, a force that exists only when minds are united in harmony around definite purpose. You will feel it in the room when it happens. Ideas coming faster than any one person could generate. Solutions appearing that no individual mind could create. Momentum building that carries each member beyond their individual capacity. I surround myself with strength and wisdom. I sow understanding and reap gold. I multiply my mind through alliance. I choose my associations based on their service to my definite purpose. Henry Ford's mastermind included Harvey Firestone, Luther Burbank, John Burroughs, and Thomas Edison. They met regularly, shared knowledge freely, and created innovations that none could have achieved alone. Ford's success was not the result of individual genius. It was the result of organized intelligence applied to definite purpose through the mastermind principle. What kind of minds are you exposing yourself to daily? What kind of conversations are shaping your thinking? What kind of alliances are multiplying your individual capacity or diminishing it? The chosen does not leave association to chance. The chosen designs alliance for definite purpose and measures every relationship by its contribution to that purpose. Your mastermind is not a social club. It is not a support group. It is a multiplication machine for individual purpose combined with collective intelligence. It is where your definite chief aim meets other definite chief aims and creates force that moves mountains, opens doors, and attracts resources that individual effort could never command. Form your mastermind this week. Invite 2 people whose success you respect and whose character you trust. Set the weekly meeting. Write the agenda. Begin the multiplication of your mind through the chemistry of alliance. This is not optional for the chosen, this is law. But force multiplied requires government. Authority shared demands authority exercised first over oneself. The chosen governs tongue and time as tools of kings because he understands that internal discipline creates external dominion. Let us carry this forward into Part 3, focused on strategic silence and the government of self that rules nations. Who governs the tongue, governs the destiny. Who masters the word, masters the world. Who disciplines speech, disciplines life, because everything you are and everything you possess began as words either spoken or unspoken at the moment of decision. Strategic silence is not the absence of speech. It is the presence of power held in reserve. It is knowing when to speak and when to withhold, when to reveal and when to conceal, when to declare and when to let actions carry the message. The chosen does not waste words because the chosen understands that words carry creative force and that force dissipated is force diminished. John D. Rockefeller built his empire through discipline, timing, and reserve. He spoke little, listened much, and moved with surgical precision. When others talked, he observed. When others explained, he decided. When others debated, he acted. His power was not in the volume of his voice, but in the weight of his words. When Rockefeller spoke, markets moved. When he remained silent, competitors wondered. This is the law of strategic silence. Your words must earn their right to be spoken. Your opinions must serve your purpose. Your conversations must advance your definite chief aim, or they are theft from your own future. Every word you speak is energy spent. Every word you withhold is energy invested. Install windows of strategic silence into your daily schedule. 3 hours minimum where no unnecessary words are spoken, no casual conversations engaged, no opinions offered unless directly relevant to your definite purpose. Use this time to think, to plan, to observe, to listen to the voice of wisdom that speaks only when the noise of unnecessary speech subsides. Cut complaint and gossip like cancer from your vocabulary. These are the words that poison your own mind first and broadcast weakness to everyone within hearing. The chosen does not complain because the chosen creates solutions. The chosen does not gossip because the chosen is building, not tearing down. The chosen speaks law, speaks belief, speaks decree. I speak law. I speak belief. My words carry order. I govern my tongue as I govern my kingdom. What have you been saying about your circumstances? What story have you been telling about your challenges? What words have you been speaking over your future? The chosen understands that you do not speak about your life. You speak your life into existence. You do not describe your reality. You create it through the consistent repetition of words aligned with your definite chief aim. Abraham Lincoln governed his tongue with precision that shaped history. During the darkest days of the Civil War, when generals failed and politicians blamed and the nation despaired, Lincoln spoke only words that served the preservation of the Union. He did not waste energy on complaint. He did not dissipate force through explanation. He spoke law. The Union will be preserved. He spoke decree. This nation shall have a new birth of freedom. He spoke with authority that came from silence, disciplined, and words measured for maximum impact. Your daily practice, before you speak, ask yourself 3 questions. Does this serve my definite chief aim? Does this build or tear? Down? Does this create or consume? If the answer is no to any question, choose silence. Let the words die unborn rather than birth them into weakness. Time governs life as surely as gravity governs physics. The chosen does not manage time. The chosen commands it. The chosen does not fill hours. The chosen designs days. The chosen does not react to urgency. The chosen creates systems that eliminate emergency through preparation. Wake before the world wakes. Own the first hour of the day before the day owns you. Use the quiet of early morning to speak your auto-suggestions, to read your definite chief aim, to plan the day according to law rather than impulse. The first hour sets the frequency for all remaining hours. Win the morning, command the day. Block time for creation, not just reaction. Schedule the activities that advance your definite chief aim before you schedule anything else. Protect these appointments with yourself as zealously as you protect appointments with others. The chosen understands that the most important meeting of the day is the meeting with your own potential. Government of self is the foundation of all other government. You cannot lead others if you do not lead yourself. You cannot command respect if you do not command your own habits. You cannot build systems that possess your hours if you have not first learned to possess your hours yourself. But government requires vehicles. Internal discipline demands external systems that multiply your capacity and free your time from repetitive tasks. The chosen builds systems that work while he sleeps, processes that earn while he creates, and methods that multiply his efforts beyond the constraints of personal hours. We move deeper in Part 3, the law of systems and rhythm that transforms habit into asset. Sustained miracle is system in operation. You do not sell your hours. You install processes that purchase hours. You do not trade time for money. You build machines that trade value for money while your time is invested in higher-level creation. This is the difference between employee and owner. Employees sell hours, owners sell systems. Charles M. Schwab, Andrew Carnegie's protege, multiplied his mentor's fortune by converting every breakthrough into routine, every innovation into system, every success into repeatable process. Schwab understood that genius without method is lightning without capture, brilliant but temporary. His fortune was built not on individual brilliance, but on systematic brilliance. Brilliance converted into processes that could be taught, repeated, and scaled. Every task you perform more than twice should become a system. Every process you repeat should become automatic. Every success you achieve should become a template for the next level of success. This is how the chosen operates, turning habits into assets, converting repetition into revenue, transforming discipline into dividends. Your daily activities fall into three categories: creation, maintenance, and waste. Creation advances your definite chief aim. Maintenance preserves what you have built. Waste diminishes both. The chosen maximizes creation, systematizes maintenance, and eliminates waste through the ruthless application of systems thinking. Create standard operating procedures for everything you do regularly. Write down the steps, test the process, refine the method, document the system, train others to execute it when appropriate. Free yourself from repetitive tasks so your time can be invested in creation that only you can do. Automate the repeatable, delegate the trainable, eliminate the unnecessary. Focus your personal time on the activities that create the most value and require your unique combination of skills, knowledge, and experience. This is not efficiency. This is effectiveness. This is not working harder. This is working from ownership instead of employment. I turn habits into assets. I build systems that outwork my hours. Every day, I act in obedience. Every day, I prove who I am. What processes in your life are crying out for systemization? What tasks are you performing repeatedly without capturing the method for replication? What time are you spending on activities that could be automated, delegated, or eliminated entirely? The chosen audits time like an investor audits portfolios. Every hour must produce returns. Every activity must advance the definite chief aim or maintain what advances it. Every system must multiply capacity or reduce waste. This is not micromanagement. This is stewardship of the irreplaceable resource that is your life. Build one new system each week. Start small. A standard template for emails you send frequently, a checklist for your morning routine, a process for following up with prospects. Document it, test it, refine it, then move to the next systemizable process. In 12 weeks, you will have transformed your operations from reactive to proactive, from chaotic to systematic, from employee thinking to owner thinking. The law of rhythm governs all systems. Everything operates in cycles: seasons, tides, markets, energy, creativity, productivity. The chosen does not fight the rhythm. The chosen aligns with it. The chosen does not force consistency. The chosen creates consistency by working with natural patterns rather than against them. Identify your natural rhythms and build systems around them. When is your energy highest? Schedule creation then. When is your energy lowest? Schedule maintenance then. When is your focus sharpest? Protect that time fiercely. When is your focus scattered? Use that time for routine tasks that require less mental intensity. Systems free you from the tyranny of motivation because systems operate independently of how you feel. Systems create momentum that carries you through valleys and amplifies you on peaks. Systems transform the chosen from someone who performs when inspired to someone who performs, because performing is what the system demands. But systems without measurement are motion without meaning. What gets measured gets managed. What gets tracked gets improved. What gets documented gets repeated. The chosen measures not for obsession but for optimization, not for perfectionism but for progress, not for comparison with others but for comparison with yesterday's version of themselves. Now the foundation is laid, identity installed, authority multiplied, discipline established, systems operating. The time has come to codify everything into a ritual with metrics, deadlines, and proof of transformation that turns law into lived reality. We continue with Part 2, the ritual that transforms law into lived reality, the altar of the morning, 20 minutes that determine the frequency of all remaining hours. You stand before the mirror not as one seeking approval, but as one claiming authority. 11 affirmations of the chosen, spoken 3 times each, with emotion rising like fire in the bones. This is not positive thinking. This is identity installation. This is not hope repeated. This is law rehearsed until the subconscious accepts it as fact. I command my morning. My morning commands my day. 3 times, with growing certainty. I use my mind, not just my time. 3 times, feeling the truth of it. I move first. I finish what I start. 3 times, until your voice carries the weight of decree. Identity precedes evidence. Evidence follows obedience. 3 times, seeing yourself as the living proof. I build systems that outwork my hours. 3 times, knowing this is your reality. Gold follows understanding. Outcomes follow order. 3 times, feeling the inevitability of your success. I decide once and reinforce daily. 3 times until decision becomes your nature. I am sent. I obey. I finish. 3 times with the authority of assignment. I speak law into my day and collect proof before noon. 3 times, programming your subconscious for daily victory. I will not wait for courage. I move and courage meets me. 3 times, feeling courage rising to meet your declaration. I sow understanding and reap gold. 3 times, sealing the law of cause and effect in your consciousness. Complete this sequence with 5 minutes of strategic silence. No words, no movement, only the presence of power held in reserve. In this silence, feel the weight of your identity settling into your bones. Feel the certainty of your calling aligning with your breath. Feel the authority of your assignment coursing through your bloodstream like electricity seeking expression. End by speaking your definite chief aim in a voice that carries command, not hope. Speak it as law, already written in the invisible realm, waiting only for your daily obedience to manifest it in the physical world. Your voice is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Use it with the precision of an architect and the authority of a king. The law written, morning and night, your hand moves across paper, inscribing your definite chief aim with the permanence of stone and the fluidity of river. Not typed, not digital, but hand to paper, mind to ink, decree to form. Writing is thinking made visible. Writing is commitment made tangible. Writing is the bridge between the mental and the material. Each morning, rewrite your definite chief aim by hand. Feel each word as your pen forms it. See each letter as a vote for the reality you are creating. Experience each sentence as a law being legislated into existence through the authority of repetition. Add to this morning writing the next measurable step you will take within 24 hours. Not someday, not eventually, not when conditions are perfect. Today, this day, before the sun sets again. Each night, rewrite your definite chief aim again. Feel the satisfaction of the day's obedience as your pen moves. See the evidence you collected as proof of your advancing identity. Add to this evening writing the specific ways you acted as plisting, chosen throughout the day. What decisions did you make that reflected your true identity? What actions did you take that aligned with your definite purpose? What evidence did you create that your transformation is real and measurable? This is not journaling for therapy. This is documentation for authority. This is not reflection for feeling better. This is recording for moving forward. The chosen keeps records not to remember the past, but to create the future through the accumulated weight of daily obedience made visible. The action of obedience. One decision daily that burns a bridge of hesitation and proves your identity through movement that can be measured, witnessed, and documented. Not movement for the sake of movement, but strategic action that advances your definite chief aim and demonstrates your character as one who moves without waiting for permission. Make the difficult phone call. Send the offer that requires courage. Ask for the meeting that stretches your comfort zone. Submit the proposal that demands you believe in your own value. Take the action that frightens others but feels like home to the chosen. Document this action with proof. Screenshot of the email sent, photo of the handwritten letter mailed, recording of the conversation completed, evidence that you moved when others hesitate. This daily action of obedience serves three purposes. It advances your definite chief aim through concrete progress. It reinforces your identity as one who acts despite fear, and it creates momentum that makes tomorrow's action easier than today's. Each day of obedience makes the next day of obedience more natural. Each bridge burned makes the next bridge easier to burn. Each proof collected makes the next proof more believable. What action have you been postponing? What decision have you been delaying? What movement have you been avoiding because it feels too bold, too aggressive, too presumptuous? The chosen understands that presumption is not arrogance when it serves definite purpose. The chosen moves with holy audacity because the chosen knows that hesitation is disobedience and delay is denial of calling. The Mastermind Alliance, 60 minutes, weekly, that multiply individual capacity through the chemistry of minds united in harmony around definite purpose. This is not social gathering. This is not support group. This is laboratory for the multiplication of force through organized intelligence applied with precision and measured with metrics. Meet at the same time each week with 2 to 4 individuals who have proven their commitment to their own definite chief aim through measurable action. Begin each session with reports. What did each person accomplish toward their definite purpose since the last meeting? What obstacles were encountered? What resources were discovered? What lessons were learned? Identify the greatest challenge facing each member and combine minds to create solutions. This is where the chemistry of mind reveals itself. Ideas emerging that no individual mind could generate, perspectives appearing that no single viewpoint could access, strategies developing that require the combined intelligence of multiple committed minds working in harmony. Set specific, measurable commitments for the following week. Not general intentions, but concrete actions with deadlines attached. Not, I will work on marketing, but I will send 12 proposals to qualified prospects by Wednesday at 5 p.m. Not, I will improve my systems, but I will document my client onboarding process and test it with 1 new client by Friday afternoon. End with each person stating their next 3 actions and the exact deadline for completion. Create accountability through specificity. Generate momentum through commitment witnessed by others who understand the cost of broken promises to oneself. The mastermind creates consequences for delay and rewards for completion that individual willpower cannot sustain alone. The mastermind disciplines not through judgment but through expectation. When you know you will report your progress to minds you respect, when you understand that your success or failure reflects on your character in the eyes of those whose opinions matter to you, when you recognize that your commitment witnessed becomes your commitment strengthened, you find energy to act that you could never generate in isolation. Your mastermind should feel like a board meeting for your own life, strategic, focused, results-oriented, and intolerant of excuses that would be embarrassing to offer to people who know your potential. This is fellowship forged in fire, alliance built on achievement, relationship rooted in the mutual multiplication of individual power through collective commitment to excellence. The system creation. Every week, convert one repeated task into a documented process with triggers, steps, and quality measures that could be executed by another person or automated through technology. This is how you graduate from selling hours to building assets, from working in your business to working on your business, from employee mindset to owner reality. Start with the simple systems: how you process emails, how you follow up with prospects, how you prepare for important meetings, how you plan your weekly priorities. Document each step, test the process, refine the method, capture the template. What currently takes you 30 minutes of thinking and deciding should take you 5 minutes of executing a proven system. Measure the time saved and value generated by each system you create. Calculate the hourly return on the time invested in building the system versus the time spent executing the task manually. Track the cumulative impact of systematization on your capacity to focus on high-value creation that only you can do. Systems free you from the exhaustion of constant decision-making about routine matters. Systems create consistency in quality, regardless of your energy level or emotional state. Systems multiply your effective capacity by eliminating the mental overhead of relearning processes you have already mastered. But systems without tracking become assumptions without proof. The chosen measures what matters and manages what is measured. Every system must have metrics attached: time saved, quality improved, value generated, capacity increased. What cannot be measured cannot be improved. What is not tracked tends to deteriorate. The audit cycle, 30, 60, 90 days. Rhythms of assessment and adjustment that keep your transformation measurable and your progress undeniable. This is not perfectionism. This is precision. This is not obsession. This is optimization. This is how the chosen ensures that law applied becomes life transformed through the accumulation of small improvements compounded over time. At 30 days, audit your ritual consistency. How many mornings did you complete the mirror work? How many days did you rewrite your definite chief aim? How many actions of obedience did you execute and document? How many mastermind meetings did you attend and contribute to meaningfully? This is not judgment. This is data collection for course correction. At 60 days, eliminate the noise and double down on what produces results. Which parts of your ritual generate the most energy and momentum? Which systems save the most time and create the most value? Which relationships multiply your capacity and which relationships drain it? Keep what works, discard what doesn't, intensify what succeeds. At 90 days, publish a report of proof 5 lines that document the measurable transformation that has occurred through law applied with discipline over time. Not feelings, not intentions, not hopes, but concrete evidence that your identity has shifted and your reality has responded. Share this report with your mastermind as testimony to the power of law consistently applied. Your 90-day report might read, Daily Mirror, work installed unshakable confidence that manifested in 3 bold business decisions, generating $47,000 in new revenue. Mastermind Alliance produced 2 strategic partnerships and eliminated 6 months of trial and error through collective intelligence. System creation saved 12 hours weekly, redirected to high-value creation that doubled client acquisition rate. Identity shift from hoping to commanding produced measurable proof in bank account, calendar control, and respect earned from peers who now seek my counsel. This is the evidence the chosen creates. Not testimonials about feeling better, but documentation of performing better. Not stories about increased confidence, but records of increased capacity. Not reports of inner transformation, but proof of outer manifestation through inner discipline applied with scientific consistency. The measurement that matters. Track what advances your definite chief aim, and eliminate tracking what does not. The chosen measures strategically, not obsessively. The chosen tracks for improvement, not for perfection. The chosen audits for optimization, not for punishment. Percentage of actions completed before 5 p.m. Target 70% or higher. This measures your ability to execute important tasks during peak energy hours rather than postponing them to evening exhaustion. The chosen completes the vital few early and uses remaining hours for refinement and preparation. Strategic silence, hours per week. Target 3 to 5 hours minimum. This measures your discipline in creating space for deep thinking, planning, and the kind of reflection that generates breakthrough insights rather than consuming content created by others. The chosen protects thinking time as zealously as earning time. Mastermind sessions per month. Target 3 minimum with 80% completion rate on commitments made. This measures your consistency in alliance and your reliability in executing what you promise to minds you respect. The chosen honors commitments to others as sacred debts that compound into increased trust and expanded opportunity. Systems created or improved per week. Target 1 minimum with documented time saved and value generated. This measures your progression from employee thinking to owner thinking through the systematic capture of repeated processes. The chosen builds assets out of activities and machines out of methods. Daily proof log entries. Target 1 to 3 documented evidences per day that your identity is manifesting through measurable action. This measures the reality of your transformation through concrete achievements rather than abstract improvements. The chosen creates proof, not promises. Revenue, leads, or value generated per week with cost per proof calculated. Time invested plus resources spent divided by measurable results produced. This measures the efficiency of your effort and the return on your discipline. The chosen invests energy strategically and measures returns precisely. These metrics serve one purpose: to transform the invisible work of identity installation into visible evidence of life transformation. Numbers do not lie. Data does not flatter. Metrics reveal the truth about whether law is being applied or merely discussed, whether discipline is real or imaginary, whether the chosen identity is becoming lived reality or remaining comfortable philosophy. What story do your numbers tell? What evidence do your metrics provide? What proof do your measurements create that law applied with consistency produces life transformed through accumulated obedience? The obstacles that rise. Your mind will generate objections to the discipline required, and your emotions will create resistance to the consistency demanded. These are not signs that the law is wrong. These are signs that the law is working. Resistance confirms importance. Difficulty validates value. The path that requires no effort produces no transformation. What if I fail again? Then you fail forward with law intact, method proven, and identity strengthened by the attempt. Failure is data, not verdict. Failure is feedback, not finale. The chosen fails at tactics while succeeding at identity. The chosen adjusts methods while maintaining certainty. The chosen learns from outcomes while honoring the process that creates all worthy outcomes. What if I feel nothing? Feelings follow movement. Obedience creates momentum that generates emotion rather than waiting for emotion to generate obedience. The chosen moves first and feels second because the chosen understands that action creates feeling more reliably than feeling creates action. Move and emotion will catch up. Act and energy will respond. Obey, and inspiration will follow. What if people criticize my transformation? Critics do not carry your law, you do. Critics do not live with the consequences of your choices. You do. Critics do not bear the responsibility for your destiny. You do. The chosen receives criticism as confirmation that change is occurring and resistance is natural. Move forward through criticism. Let results silence objections. What if results come slowly? Order compounds like interest in a disciplined account. Water the seed daily and audit weekly rather than expecting harvest from recently planted ground. The chosen plants in spring and harvests in autumn without questioning the natural law of seasons. Trust the process, measure the progress, maintain the discipline that creates inevitable results through time. What if I lose a day to weakness or failure? Reset before noon, collect one proof of identity, and rebuild the chain link by link, rather than declaring the entire effort worthless because of one broken link. The chosen recovers quickly from setbacks by returning to law rather than wallowing in disappointment. One day does not determine destiny. The pattern of days determines everything. What if fear returns stronger than before? Name the fear specifically. Breathe once deeply, speak your line of authority, and act within 60 seconds while the decision is fresh and the commitment is clear. Fear dissipates through movement more quickly than through analysis. The chosen moves through fear rather than around it, because the chosen knows that courage is not the absence of fear, but action in the presence of fear. These objections are predictable because they are universal. Every person who has ever attempted to live by law rather than by circumstance has faced identical resistance from within and without. The resistance is not personal, it is natural. The resistance is not punishment, it is the cost of transformation that separates the chosen from the comfortable. Your mind will offer you reasons to delay, excuses to modify, justifications to quit. Your emotions will create drama around difficulty, urgency around trivia, crisis around inconvenience. Your circumstances will present obstacles that seem insurmountable and opportunities that seem more attractive than the disciplined path. This is the test. Will you obey law when law feels inconvenient? Will you maintain ritual when ritual feels repetitive? Will you honor your definite chief aim when easier paths present themselves? Will you act as chosen when acting as chosen requires you to disappoint people who prefer you comfortable? The chosen passes this test not through superhuman strength, but through systematic obedience to law that has been proven by others who faced identical choices and chose discipline over comfort, law over convenience, identity over approval. The night voice, before sleep, claims consciousness. Speak your final decree over the day completed and the day approaching. This is not prayer for help. This is declaration of authority. This is not hope for better circumstances. This is command over circumstances through identity established and law obeyed. I was chosen to serve through value and govern through wisdom. I obeyed today, and the world responded. I move tomorrow, and provision runs to meet me. I speak law into my hours and collect proof before evening. I am sent. I obey. I finish. Results follow order. Gold follows understanding. I command wealth through wisdom earned and discipline applied. Speak these words or words like them that carry the same authority, the same certainty, the same expectation of inevitable success through law consistently applied. End with gratitude not for circumstances but for identity. I am grateful to be chosen. I am grateful to carry authority. I am grateful to serve through excellence and receive through value created. This evening voice programs your subconscious mind during the hours when conscious resistance is lowest and receptivity is highest. Your final words of the day become your first thoughts of tomorrow. Your evening declaration becomes your morning foundation. Your night voice becomes your dawn power. Sleep as one who has obeyed law and expects law to produce results. Rest as one who has planted seeds and trusts the natural process of growth. Wake as one who carries authority and expects authority to be recognized by those who benefit from what you create. The mirror does not lie, but it shows only what you have been rehearsing. The bank account does not flatter, but it reflects only the value you have been creating. The calendar does not deceive, but it reveals only the priorities you have been honoring. Your life is the accumulated result of your daily obedience to the law you choose to live by. Choose law over impulse. Choose identity over circumstances. Choose authority over approval. Choose the path of the chosen over the path of the comfortable. The world needs what you carry, but the world will receive it only when you walk as one who carries it with certainty, authority, and the holy audacity of assignment fulfilled through discipline applied. We move to the closing movement, Part 3, centered on the final sealing of identity and the command that launches transformation. We now enter Part 3, the final sealing of identity and the command that launches your transformation into measurable reality. You came seeking a method. You found a law. You came seeking improvement. You found identity. You came seeking success. You found the scientific application of principles that transform character first and circumstances second through the accumulated power of daily obedience applied with precision over time. The law you have learned is not theory. It is physics. The methods you have discovered are not suggestions. They are formulas. The identity you have installed is not fantasy. It is fact, waiting for your consistent expression through action that can be measured, witnessed, and documented by those whose respect you have earned through performance rather than promise. You are not trying to become chosen. You are learning to act like you already are. You are not hoping for provision. You are moving as one already provided for. You are not seeking authority. You are exercising the authority you carry through assignment that preceded your birth and calling that will outlast your breathing. This is the final law. Identity is not something you achieve. It is something you express. Character is not something you build. It is something you reveal through consistent action that aligns with who you have always been beneath the layers of conditioning, compromise, and comfort that obscured your true nature. Every morning you stand before the mirror, you are not becoming the chosen. You are remembering you are chosen. Every time you rewrite your definite chief aim, you are not creating your purpose. You are clarifying purpose that chose you before you chose it. Every action of obedience you execute, you are not earning your identity. You are expressing identity that is already yours by right of calling, assignment, and the sacred responsibility that comes with gifts given for service rather than self. The world does not need another person hoping to succeed. The world needs another person acting as if success is inevitable, through law consistently applied. The world does not need another person trying to build confidence. The world needs another person moving with the confidence that comes from knowing who they are and why they are here. The world does not need another person seeking permission. The world needs another person carrying authority and using it to create value that serves others while building wealth that funds greater service. The world does not need another person waiting for conditions to improve. The world needs another person improving conditions through character expressed as competence, discipline expressed as delivery, and identity expressed as influence that elevates everyone it touches. You walk differently now. You speak differently now. You decide differently now. Not because you feel different, though feeling will follow, but because you know different. You know that hesitation is disobedience. You know that delay is denial. You know that comfort is the enemy of calling and that ease is the opposite of excellence. You know that your morning ritual is not routine. It is law applied to the mechanics of identity installation through repetition that programs the subconscious mind to outwork conscious effort. You know that your definite chief aim is not goal. It is government that rules every choice, every association, every use of time, energy, and attention. You know that your mastermind is not networking. It is multiplication of individual capacity through the chemistry of minds united in harmony around definite purpose. You know that your systems are not efficiency. They are assets that work while you sleep and earn while you create and multiply your impact beyond the constraints of personal hours. You know that your measurements are not obsession. They are optimization through data that reveals truth about whether transformation is real or imaginary, whether discipline is applied or discussed, whether law is obeyed or merely admired from the safe distance of theory without practice. The final sealing comes through vows spoken with the authority of one who has applied law and collected proof, who has obeyed discipline and witnessed results, who has acted as chosen and received the response that confirms identity through evidence rather than emotion. I walk as one sent to serve through excellence and receive through value created. My voice carries the law of my identity. My decisions reflect the certainty of my calling. My actions demonstrate the character of my assignment. I command my morning, and my morning commands my day through ritual that installs identity and discipline that creates inevitability. I command wealth through wisdom, earned, not inherited, through discipline applied, not luck discovered, through value created, not favor received. I sow understanding through study, service, and sacrifice. I reap gold through the natural law that rewards those who plant in spring and harvest in autumn without questioning the seasons between seed and fruit. I do not chase riches like a beggar pursuing crumbs. I command riches like a king claiming inheritance through character, proven worthy of the responsibility that comes with resources multiplied. I do not hope for success like a gambler betting on chance. I create success through law applied with scientific consistency until results become as predictable as sunrise following night. I use my mind, not just my time, because time without thought is motion without meaning, hours without strategy is energy without outcome, days without definite purpose is life without legacy worth leaving to those who will judge my stewardship by what I built rather than what I intended. I move first and finish what I start, because the chosen completes what the comfortable abandons, concludes what the casual begins, and collects proof where others collect excuses. I am reliable in small things so I can be trusted with greater things. I am faithful with what belongs to others so I can be blessed with what belongs to me. I decide once and reinforce daily, because decision repeated becomes habit, habit sustained becomes character, and character expressed becomes destiny. Lived through the accumulated choices of thousands of days when no one was watching and nothing was forcing me to choose excellence except the law of my own identity. I govern my tongue as I govern my kingdom, because words carry creative force that shapes reality through repetition, commands circumstances through declaration, and attracts resources through the magnetic power of certainty expressed as authority rather than hope disguised as humility. I build systems that outwork my hours, because the chosen creates assets out of activities, machines out of methods, and processes that multiply impact beyond the limitations of personal capacity. I work on my business, not just in my business. I create value, not just deliver service. I build wealth, not just earn income. I surround myself with minds that multiply my capacity and eliminate associations that diminish my energy, because the chosen chooses alliance strategically, relationship purposefully, and fellowship based on mutual commitment to excellence rather than mutual comfort with mediocrity. I measure what matters and manage what I measure, because data reveals truth that emotions obscure, numbers expose reality that feelings mask, and metrics provide feedback that guides improvement rather than judgment that creates condemnation. Decide once, enforce daily, speak law, move now, collect proof. This is your vow, your law, your identity made audible through words that carry the weight of commitment witnessed by the mirror, that reflects not who you have been, but who you are becoming, through obedience applied with consistency over time. The final command: within 24 hours, you will prove that transformation has begun through action that demonstrates identity shifted from hoping to commanding, from seeking to finding, from trying to being. Wake 30 minutes earlier tomorrow morning than you woke today. Use these 30 minutes for the sacred work of identity installation through mirror work, written law, and strategic silence that programs your subconscious mind for daily victory rather than daily survival. Write your definite chief aim in 4 lines that capture purpose, method, deadline, and the feeling of achievement already accomplished. Write not what you hope to become, but what you are becoming through daily action that aligns with calling rather than circumstances. Record yourself speaking the 11 lines of identity while looking into your own eyes in the mirror. Listen to your own voice declaring law over your life. Hear the authority that grows with repetition. Feel the certainty that builds with practice. Keep this recording as evidence of the day your true life began. Execute one action of obedience before 5 p.m. that proves your identity through movement that can be measured, witnessed, and documented. Not someday action, not eventually movement, not when conditions are perfect obedience. Today, this day, before the sun sets on your decision to live as chosen rather than die as comfortable. Register the proof through photograph, screenshot, email confirmation, or documentation that creates evidence of identity expressed through action that advances your definite chief aim. The chosen creates proof, not promises, documentation, not discussion, evidence, not explanations. Form your mastermind alliance this week. Identify 2 people whose character you respect, whose commitment you trust, and whose success you celebrate rather than envy. Invite them to weekly 60-minute meetings with definite agenda, measurable goals, and mutual accountability that transforms individual limitation into collective inevitability. These are not suggestions for your consideration. These are commands for your execution. These are not improvements for gradual implementation. These are laws for immediate obedience. These are not options for evaluation. These are assignments for completion within the time frame specified. You will face resistance from within and without. Your mind will offer reasons to delay. Your emotions will create drama around difficulty. Your circumstances will present obstacles that seem insurmountable. This is not punishment. This is the natural law of growth that requires pressure to produce diamonds, heat to forge steel, and resistance to build strength. The comfortable will question your intensity. The casual will criticize your discipline. The uncommitted will mock your consistency. Let them. Their opinion of your transformation is not your concern. Their participation in your destiny is not required. Their approval of your methods is not necessary for your success. Move through criticism with the same consistency you move through encouragement. Receive praise with the same steadiness you receive resistance. Success or failure in the opinion of others changes nothing about the law you obey or the identity you express through daily action that proves character through performance rather than performance through character. You are not responsible for their understanding. You are responsible for your obedience. You are not accountable for their approval. You are accountable for your action. You are not measured by their comfort with your transformation. You are measured by your consistency in applying law that produces results regardless of who notices or approves. The path you have chosen is traveled by few because few are willing to exchange the immediate gratification of comfort for the delayed gratification of character developed through discipline sustained over time. The path you have chosen rewards those who honor law over impulse, identity over circumstances, and the authority of assignment over the approval of peers. Walk this path with the confidence of one who knows the destination, is certain because the method is proven, the law is reliable, and the discipline is applied with scientific consistency that produces predictable results through time invested wisely rather than time spent carelessly. You came seeking transformation. You found the law that creates transformation through identity, expressed as action repeated until character is formed and destiny is determined by the accumulated choices of someone who chose to live by law rather than by accident. You came hoping for miracles. You discovered that miracle is not violation of law, but application of law consistently over time until results appear that seem miraculous to those who do not understand the law, but inevitable to those who obey it. You came as one seeking. You leave as one found. You came as one hoping. You leave as one knowing. You came as one trying to become. You leave as one learning to express what you have always been beneath the conditioning that obscured your true nature and the compromise that dimmed your authentic power. Go now. Act now. Prove now. The world is waiting for what you carry, but the world will receive it only when you walk as one who carries it with certainty, authority, and the holy audacity of assignment fulfilled through discipline, applied with love for those you serve and gratitude for the privilege of serving them. Your transformation begins with your next decision. Your proof begins with your next action. Your destiny begins with your next choice, to obey law rather than impulse, identity rather than emotion, calling rather than comfort. The mirror awaits. The morning calls, the law is established, the method is proven, the identity is installed. Move as chosen, act as sent, finish what you start. Your time is now, your moment is this moment. Your life as the chosen begins with the next word you speak, the next step you take, the next choice you make to honor the law that transforms character, and the character that transforms circumstances through the accumulated power of daily obedience. Applied with precision, consistency, and the unshakable certainty that comes from knowing who you are and why you are here. I walk as one sent, I act as one chosen. I finish what I start because finishing is what the chosen do, completing is what the committed practice, and collecting proof is what the obedient produce through law, applied with love and discipline, expressed as service that creates value, worth receiving wealth to fund greater service still. The law is established, the method is proven, the identity is yours. Act like God has already chosen you, and miracles will follow through the natural law of cause and effect applied with holy audacity, sacred consistency, and the unshakable certainty that you are exactly who you were created to be and exactly where you were meant to be, to do exactly what you were sent to do through excellence that serves others and builds wealth that funds greater service. Still,